So I bloom just for you. I guess that means he'll open up his rosebud just for that dick, honey. Because if you seen them pictures, I've seen pictures of Troye Sivan's back area. He posted some nudes a couple of years ago. I got him in my phone and things. Yes, he's over 21, so I can look at him. I'm not going to hell, and I'm not a child molester. But anyway, okay, so I was trying to think of what story I want. Okay, so let's get into this whole shit about Tidal. So they're being accused of not paying royalty payments to three different record labels, and so they've got come under fire about them not giving any of their coin, which I don't even understand. Tidal has been going through so much bullshit lately; it's not even funny. So, there was also another article I was reading about the whole Tidal drama anyway. But anyway, so after they were accused of faking streams for Kanye and Beyonce, the company is now being accused of not paying royalties to three record labels. According to a report from Music Business Worldwide, who also reported on the manipulation claims, Norwegian publication, I'm not trying to pronounce his name, by the way, it's a whole lot of shit I can't speak Norwegian, so I'm not going to do it, ran a story on Wednesday alleging that the streaming service is significantly behind on its royalty payments to rights holders. Specifically, the report claims Tidal is behind on payouts to three major record companies. It is correct that there are delays in payments from Tidal. Sveinung Rindal, CEO of the Sony-backed Phonophile, reportedly said. Though Tidal has not yet committed on this latest report. I would have been like commented. I think that's what they meant. Anyway, on this latest report, they previously characterized the publication's general tactics as a calculated attempt at sullying their reputation. This is a smear campaign from a publication that once referred to our employees as an Israeli intelligence officer, and our owner is a crack dealer, a rep said after the stats manipulation claims were made. We expect nothing less from them than this ridiculous storylines and falsehoods. The information was stolen, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Okay, so they're also saying that the magazine who did the report later doubled down, claiming that Tidal had reduced payments to artists from 62.5% to 55%. So now it's like, I don't know what's going on with them. Tidal, there's been so much shit surrounding y'all with how y'all been doing y'all business. So I've kind of been looking at y'all with the side eye for a long time. Like, there was never anything that I found remotely authentic or creatively worthy when it comes to you guys. So I don't know. I don't trust Tidal as far as I can throw them. I've never subscribed to them. I know friends who subscribe to Tidal and get their music from them, but I don't. First of all, anybody could just take a song off Tidal and throw it up on, the computer, and you can basically just rip that shit for free without even having to buy Beyonce's Lemonade or that tight-ass last album that Kanye Kardashian came out with. So, in regards to the follow-up about the streaming numbers, basically what they said, CEO Richard Sanders basically said in a statement speaking up on it, he said, "We reject and deny the claims that have been made by I'll just say the first one. The first word is Daggins, and it says another word, but it says by Daggins. Although we do not typically comment on stories we believe to be false, we feel it is important to make sure that our artists, employees, and subscribers know that we are not taking the security and integrity of our data lightly, and we will not back down from our commitment to them. When we learned of a potential data breach, we immediately and aggressively began pursuing multiple avenues available to uncover what occurred. This included reporting to two proper authorities, pursuing legal action, and proactively taking steps to further strengthen our stringent security measures that are already in place." So, with all the psycho babble that they pretty much say in this long-ass post, they're basically trying to imply that their numbers weren't inflated, but if it was, they were hacked. First of all, that's some bullshit. Did y'all watch the last episode of Empire? When, they was talking about that little in they could get in with, he did something with the machines, and for like 15 minutes, then when it comes back on, then they could go and ask people for their money and this, that, and the third, and then all of a sudden it went through the roof and they made the money and they did what they had to do and all this other stuff. So in so many ways, it's like there's some ways to get around to some hackation when it comes to stuff, and I don't think anybody hacked into Tidal's shit. I think that Tidal been doing some dirty ass sneakerization of it all, because of all the artists that you have signed to that label, you was trying to inflate the money or the sales of people like your wife and Kanye. So just something to me just don't sound right. And I'll keep you guys abreast of this story as it concludes. So now let's move on to the next story, which is we have a women's advocacy group who wants Spotify to pull Chris Brown, Eminem, and a whole bunch of other artists from their streaming playlist. So after R. Kelly was got pulled and everything, and everybody decided to be, the moral judge, jury, and executioner on him, even though that motherfucker's been pissing on little 14-year-olds for 20 damn years. A women's advocacy group is calling for the removal of songs by Chris Brown, Eminem, and several other artists. According to Billboard, women's advocacy group Ultraviolet is applauding Spotify's... You know what? I hated that fucking movie, Ultraviolet, with Mila Jovovich, and I'm starting to hate this women's group for this exact reason. New policy banning hate content and hateful conduct that has brought with it high-profile removals of R. Kelly and XXXTentacion from curated playlists, but in an open letter published on Monday, it's also asking for more. As well as R. Kelly and XXXTentacion, the letter written by Ultraviolet Executive Director Shauna Thomas requests that Spotify take action against other artists who have been accused of sexual misconduct. And it says accused of sexual misconduct, not convicted. So now we're judge, jury, executioner, innocent before proven guilty. Let me continue. Including Chris Brown, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nelly, Eminem, and others. So I guess now Spotify is going to have to go out of fucking business because everybody these bitches want to go after, they want them out of, no longer having their music being put out. So every time a famous individual continues to be glorified despite allegations of abuse, we wrongly perpetuate silence by showing survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence that there will be no consequence for abuse. That has been a cultural effect far beyond one individual artist. She added that Spotify's action demonstrates the company is following the lead of black women who demanded that these two men who have sexually and physically abused women for years not be promoted or celebrated. Okay, in regards of this, I want to say, because I'm not even going to read this any further because I already know what they're about and I've already given you enough for me to give my opinion on this. I'm all for people being tried to the full extension of the law when there is evidence, when everything is brought to the full extension of the law as in courts. I'm not going to argue the fact that, yes, black women are the last to be even acknowledged in regards of sexual abuse because, number one, our community tends to sweep that shit under the rug. I'm going to get to that conversation in a minute when I'm talking about Whitney Houston and the whole family about sexual abuse and all that other stuff. The fact that people are trying to have this witch hunt on artists who have known reputations but haven't been brought to justice over it, to me, is a problem. I get Bill Cosby. I get going after him. There was evidence that was brought to the full extension of the law, and they tried him and he was convicted. He's going to be sentenced in September. I get Harvey Weinstein. It has been a known fact that this man since the 80s, because Harvey Weinstein has been a producer since the fucking 80s. I think it's almost 40 years this man has been in this business, doing all the shit that he's been doing. And now people piped up about that. So yes, Chris Brown has had some shit that he's done in the past in regards to the whole situation with Rihanna. He dealt with it. He had to face his time. He did his community service. He and Rihanna dealt with what they needed to deal with, and they've gone their separate ways, yet people still hold that shit over his head. Eminem, to me, what has he done in the past other than using what people deemed homophobia in his lyrics? I haven't heard Eminem do anything for you to be saying well, he needs to be removed. I've never heard him being a part of this Me Too movement. I've never heard him sexually harassing any women. I've only heard, basically, the only controversial thing that has always hovered over Eminem was the fact that the gay community, especially GLAAD, came after him because he was going around using homophobic words like faggot in his lyrics. As far as Red Hot Chili Peppers, I remember hearing things in the past about Anthony Kiedis and abuse and all those other things, but guess what? Has he been convicted? Has he been thrown in jail? What's the tea? To me, it's we are not supposed to sit here and be the judge, jury, and executioner on celebrity. I can, for the most part, separate celebrity from the art or the person from the art. I'm not an R. Kelly fan. I don't listen to his music. Ever since the whole Pissgate and the marrying Aaliyah at 15, all this, and I was an Aaliyah fan. All that shit, I have removed myself from R. Kelly. I've never been a fan of his. There was always something skeevy I didn't like about him. There's been so much shit I've heard about him in this business behind the scenes that he's very controlling of women. He's very manipulative, and he likes to prey on girls who are weak, which is what bullies do. Sexual abusers do. They prey on the fucking weak. They prey on people who don't have a strong presence of a person in their life. So I've never really been someone who has been an R. Kelly fan. As far as the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I knew songs of theirs in the past. Nelly has been dealing with the stuff he's been dealing with, but has he been tried? Has he been convicted? Once he goes through the trial and he's been convicted, all that stuff comes in, then we should be doing that. But then also we should be saying, like, you know what? A lot of these artists that you're mentioning aren't really that hot anymore. Like, who's really listening to Chris Brown's music? Who's really checking for Red Hot Chili Peppers? Who's really checking for Nelly? Who's really checking for Eminem? Eminem's last record was trash. It was straight up fucking garbage. So, all these people that y'all trying, R. Kelly, Step in the Name of Love. You know how many years ago that fucking song came out? That shit came out like a decade ago. Ain't nobody checking for R. Kelly, Down syndrome looking ass. Fuck him. Y'all going after these motherfuckers that have no cultural significance in what's popping now. I could understand if any of these artists was on a level of, like, what the kids are listening to. Like, somebody real culturally relevant that Spotify and all these other channels are going to make so much money off of. Then I could understand your argument. But you're going after anybody who has perpetuated any kind of misogyny against women in their music. And that's what I'm getting from this. I'm not getting the fact that we need to go after people who have sexually harassed women in their own way. Chris Brown, yes, he has done shit to women. He's done shit to Rihanna. He's done shit to Karrueche. And he's dealt with it. He has to stay 500 yards away from the bitch. XXXTentacion, I understand him, because he's like, didn't he rape somebody or something like that, and he was convicted, he's in prison? It was like an underage girl or some shit like that. I'm trying to remember the story. I don't have it off the top of my head. I'm going off the top of my head. I don't have the story in front of me. So, I just feel like there's this witch hunt that's happening with these groups, and I feel like a lot of times these feminist groups, you need to keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the prize and stop going after kids' table bullshit. It's like, oh, we have to go after R. Kelly. We have to go after Eminem. We have to go after Red Hot Chili Peppers. We have to go after Nelly. We have to go after all these people who all of a sudden is I got some tea on Whitney Houston that's coming up. So I want to get that out of the way because I'm gonna just wrap this up right now. So my thing is just like, we need to stop trying to go on this witch hunt and be like, oh well, we got R. Kelly, so now we got a laundry list of people we want to get rid of and go after. I feel like what really will make a change, fight with your money. That's where your power is. If you don't like R. Kelly and what he's about, don't listen to his music. But I see many of fucking women who have defended this man over the shit he's done and will, slut blame the girl who was sexually abused and told people about, oh, well, you shouldn't have been there. Oh, you should have ran out the room. Everybody always got an answer on what people should have did in a crisis when you ain't never been in one. But let you be in one and see how fast your ass react. So we should need to stop victim blaming. And then it does rub me the wrong way. I do feel uncomfortable when I go to parties, like my family. Yes, I am black, in case you can't tell by the exterior. My black side of my family, whenever I go to barbecues and this, that, and the other, R. Kelly do be playing. They have the DJs always playing up, step, step, side to side. Everybody be doing that choreography and shit, do the love slide. They all be up in there doing that. And yes, it does make me feel a certain kind of way. So I don't participate. Well, R. Kelly come on and I be on the dance floor and shit, I sit my ass down. I go give me a plate of food and I sit my ass down and start gossiping and running my gut and shoving food in my mouth. That's what I do. Or I go and get me a drink. And then I chill until the next song comes on that I'm like, okay, it's lit. I get up and I start hanging out and having fun and dancing again. We all have the ability to just walk away from something if it bothers us. And so because we don't like something, everybody needs to not like something. And when people do that, it bothers me. So, the next story I want to get into is Tierra Marie. Apparently, she is suing her ex-boyfriend and 50 Cent for leaking a sex tape because she was sucking dick like Black China. Meaning, bitch need dick sucking lessons. So Tierra Marie's ex-boyfriend Akbar Abdul Ahad says she's coming after the wrong guy for leaking her sex tape. Not only is she allegedly coming after the wrong guy, but he also says that she shouldn't be coming after a guy at all because a woman is responsible for the tape being leaked. According to TMZ, Akbar is accused of hacking into Tierra's Instagram account and posted a XXX video for which Miss Thing 50 Cent, he is such a fucking queen. When is she coming out the closet? Because he be spending more time jumping in girls' situations. He is worse than... he is a girl. I just feel like, you know what? 10 years from now, 50 Cent will come out and say, you know what? I'm transgender and I'm going to get me a pussy. Because first of all, I just be thinking like, he's literally, no shade to women, but I'm saying, you're worse than a woman. Like, you do so much shit that is... he's just the pure definition of a bitch ass. Like, you always jumping in girls' conversations. You posting videos of Tierra Marie's horrible attempt at sucking a dick on Instagram, and because she was like who suck a dick like that? Like, girl, it's called open that mouth, like, girl, open that mouth up, get that dick up in there, like, do the if it's too much for you to suck the dick, like, come on, do the grapefruit without the grapefruit, like, just put your hand on the base and do that shit. No, like, just start slurping and sucking, like, do what you need to do to get that dick off. But like, when y'all be up in there like a fucking cat licking a hairball off his goddamn body, that is not sucking dick. Now, some of y'all bitches, I'll give you a goddamn lesson on how to take a dick to the back of the throat. I'll give you a lesson on that hot shit. Okay, let me bring it back, because I started to go off. I was like, people come up, what the hell is he talking about? He up here talking about sucking dick? Like, y'all don't do that shit. Agreed. And that's what I was about to get to, Philson. I don't know how to say your name, but anyway. I agree with you wholeheartedly that if you don't want sex tapes leaking, stop fucking making them. If you don't want people to be out here putting that shit out on Jump Street, especially when you're a celebrity, stop making videos of you with your hair looking fucking nappy as hell trying to suck a goddamn dick. Or she probably left her hair like that because he would have skeeted up in it and she could just went in the shower and wash the shit out. So my thing is, stop making shit like me. I call myself a board certified whore. You ain't never gonna find no motherfucking sex tape of me because I don't do that shit. I don't need to film myself fucking unless I'm going to decide to open up a OnlyFans page. If I decided to launch an OnlyFans, then I'll consider doing all the... Oh, okay, thank you. I'm gonna I would look into that. If I decided to make myself an OnlyFans page, then I'll consider doing all of that because I'm trying to profit and make money off of it. But to me, this all looks like, and I don't want to just like the victim shaming and slut shaming and all that stuff, but to me, this feels like a moment that, you know, when Tierra Marie was up there, that fucking Lisa Bloom, her and her goddamn mother are working my last nerve. These are them two that's just like, you know, y'all are wearing me real thin with the fact that every little thing y'all want to jump on about a woman being abused, y'all want to be on fucking camera about it. To me, this is because Love and Hip Hop Hollywood is going to probably be coming on air soon because Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is halfway through its damn season and this bitch is looking for a reason to get people to watch for them ratings. I'm not stupid. That's basically my cynical side is coming at it from that way. So, it is revenge porn on one hand, and in LA, I do believe you can face jail time for posting revenge porn. But my thing is, you know what? Go after 50. He got plenty of money. He'll pay. Well, hopefully he'll pay your ass. But my question is this: has he paid Rick Ross' baby mother for leaking her sex tape? I don't know if she got her money from her yet. From him. Well, I should have called 50 Cent her. But we already know, like, this is all about to turn out to be a good payout for Mona Scott. Like I said, Love and Hip Hop and all that other stuff. But I'll keep you guys abreast of this shit. It's a lot of Facebook... Oh, who you telling? You know how many people I know off the hand... Like, more than both my hands. And probably your hands, too. Both of them. And everybody who's watching hands. That have OnlyFans pages that I know. Like, so many of my friends I know all got OnlyFans pages. There was one that I know that his name is, he's a go-go dancer from LA, Rene Rosales. I follow him on Instagram. I saw he charges $25. I was like, that better be for a fucking year. Because if you trying to charge $25 for a month, bitch, you better change that price. Who paying that much to watch you? I don't know what he does on there because I'm not following him in that way. But I did see what he was working with in between his legs because he did a Venfield 8 photo shoot and they expect you to be nude, so I saw the front and the back. But other than that, I'm just saying, like, OnlyFans is like, yeah, the whole thing with that. Okay, so let's get to the whole catfish thing. So, Nev Schulman is being accused of sexual assault, and MTV has suspended the show while they investigate. So, Yaniv Schulman of the popular MTV series is being investigated, and the show is being suspended. Well, look, there ain't nothing wrong with making them coins. I always say that. I love anybody who out here makes an honest living on doing what they got to do. If you're going to be a stripper, be the best stripper you could possibly be. If you're going to be a porn star, be the best porn star you could possibly be. I don't judge nobody. You know, I tell people all the time, I am a sex advocate. I am a person who advocates for anybody who wants to live their life freely and in their own truth. If you want to go out there and you get paid to have people running up in your asshole, then you go ahead and do it. Look, Armand Rizzo has made an entire living having his guts ripped wide. Why would I judge him on that? My friend Max Connor is his career is taking off big time in regards to the porn world. And I've known him long before he even considered doing porn. When he was Cliff, he was way smaller, and he was a go-go dancer at the Web back in the day. An Asian club, by the way, that I used to always go to. And that's how we met and became friends. So now he's reinvented himself, all muscular and everything, and he's Max Connor. And he's a top now. But before he was a big old bottom. But now, you know, he's reinvented himself. So you go wherever the coin is. Or whatever way you feel you got to reinvent yourself, by all means, go ahead and do that. But anyway, back to Catfish. So he's being investigated, and the show is being suspended following sexual misconduct allegations, according to an email statement from the network to USA Today Thursday. They said, "We take these allegations very seriously," the statement said. "We're working with Critical Content, our third-party production company, to conduct a thorough investigation, and we've put a pause on shooting until the investigation is completed." The allegations came in light of 2 YouTube videos uploaded earlier this week by Aisha Morgan, who previously appeared on the show 3 years ago. In the videos, titled "The Truth About the Show," she outlined her experience alleging Jack, a label she gave to the show's main person, made several inappropriate sexual comments. Schulman denied the allegations in an email statement in USA Today Thursday. He says, "The behavior described in the video did not happen, and I'm fortunate that there are a number of former colleagues who were present during this time period who are willing to speak up with the truth. I have always been transparent about my life and would always take responsibility for my actions, but these claims are false." I also heard that there was something that came out a couple of years ago that he was in college and, so now it's like OnlyFans because, you know, you basically keep 80% of your proceeds and 20% goes to OnlyFans that they recoup from how many people buy. So it's a win-win situation. And porn is not really spent. People don't really make money from porn. So people are pretty much taking their careers in their own hands and creating their own content on OnlyFans, which I think is a brilliant idea, by the way. Cuts the middleman out. I sort of say, you know what? I haven't watched Catfish since the first season. Every now and again, if there's a gay episode, I'll pop up and I'll watch it based off of a recommendation. But Catfish is not something I really watch. Like, I love the idea of Catfish, but I'd just be feeling like, do people still be trying to catfish motherfuckers in these days and day and age and thinking they can get away with it when we have a MTV, you know, a TV show on MTV that people are watching? So I don't know. I'm glad that they actually stopped production on the show and they're investigating. And I feel like what they're probably going to have to do is dig up that old footage because, you know, MTV don't throw shit away. I know I used to work at Viacom. And you go to the ER, is what they call it. That's where they keep, it's a giant room. It's like a white room. Literally looks like an Apple store. They could have renovated since I've been there because I haven't worked there in like 10 years. But when you go in, it's like a big old desk. You go there, you let them know what, you gotta hand them the paper, tell them exactly what it is that, what type of footage or whatever that you need for a specific thing. Could be for pop-up video, could be for whatever thing that Viacom, you know, what's in the archive, and they look it up. So I'm sure they have all the tapes from all those episodes back to when her episode was, and they'll go over the footage, they'll go over the tape, because, you know, a lot of times when you say and do shit, a lot of times people forget that those mics are on. And the mics are always hot. So I'm sure that they're going to check everything thoroughly. And they'll see that if he's guilty or if he's not guilty. And if he is guilty of any kind of sexual misconduct, that I had to take a swig of water. For those listening, or the pause that I had to do. So I'm glad they're going to do a thorough investigation, and then we'll just see like what happens and if the show comes back, which I have a strong feeling that it will. That Catfish ain't going no damn where. Or if it does, then they'll just have to, if they do find something, they'll look into getting rid of him, and they can bring someone in. Maybe a bigger name. But I feel like if you bring a celebrity into it, like if you did like how they do on Fear Factor, if you brought in like a Ludacris, I feel like it dilutes the purpose because people are so enamored with this big celebrity interviewing them or checking them rather than a full-on investigation that goes into people catfishing people. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. He always did seem like he was legit. And that's one of the things that always bothers me is that you tend to look at people who have the best intentions and are really out here trying to help your fellow person. And then this shit comes out. I get that nobody's perfect out on so, but it's always disappointing if it turns out to be true that somebody who perpetuates this image that they're an overall good guy is not necessarily good at all. So that kind of just... It hurts when you have this, when you see something like that. Okay, so let's get to Whitney Houston. So her family, there's a documentary that's coming out that was produced by Pat Houston, who is the wife of her brother. I was going to say John Houston, but John Houston, I believe that's Angelica Houston's brother. It's a different Houston. What was it? Anyway, so the late singer, there's a documentary that's coming out that is claiming that the singer was sexually abused as a child by her female cousin, but never told her mother because she was ashamed in a documentary that just recently premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. Whitney was abused by a female relative who is the sister of Dionne Warwick. This is the tea that came out this week. Mary Jones has claimed the world-famous singer told her of her childhood ordeal, and the new film... is basically claiming this. So, also, her brother, Michael, is coming out with the same allegations, saying he was abused by the same person. So, I'm actually going to be like, I totally believe this story, simply because we tend to have this habit of sweeping shit under the rug in the black community, or when it comes to people of color. Whenever it comes down to people being abused, or, sexually abused, or whatever the case is, we like to act like it never happened, or whatever the case is. I don't know when the film, which is being called Whitney, is going to be coming out, but I'm sitting like in the vein of like off the rip of not just watching, but a couple of, what was it, last year, was it? When Why Can't I Be Me came out, or maybe it was earlier this year, when I watched that documentary, which they tended to focus on whether or not Whitney Houston was bisexual. Do we really need another Whitney Houston interview or a Whitney Houston biopic, not even a biopic, a documentary that delves into her past? And I'm sitting there thinking like, you know what? I'm all for it. Like, the more the merrier. I heard they're coming out with another documentary on Michael Jackson on his final days, on Earth before he kicked the bucket. When they had to put his ass to sleep on propofol and then wake him up with another drug. So I did hear about that. That story came out this morning too. But Mary Jones, who's Whitney's aunt, who found her body. She's the one who found the body. Claims Whitney had told her she had been sexually abused by Dee Dee Warwick, sister of Dionne, between the ages of 7 and 9. She recalls Whitney saying, "Mary, I was abused too. It was a woman." And you know what people are going to try to imply is that, that's what made her like other girls. This is what made her bisexual. Because, first of all, Dee Dee Warwick looked like, if you've seen a picture of her, go to dailymail.co.uk. That's where I'm pulling this up from. Dee Dee looked like a man in a damn wig when I look at her. So I could totally see. Just like, she done did something. She probably stuck a couple of fingers up in that old child's vagina. But anyway, besides me getting off a bit, okay, let me not be shady. Let me take this serious. But okay, so Miss Houston replied when she was asked who it was. She said it was Dee Dee. So her brother Gary, I don't know why I called him Michael, Gary Garland also speaks about their childhood in the documentary and discloses his greatest trauma by being abused by a female relative. But Whitney never told her mother, Sissy, about the alleged abuse because she was ashamed. Mary claimed the abuse made Whitney question her... did not tell you they was going to go there. Made her question her sexual preference, prompting her to demonstrate that she was heterosexual by marrying Bobby Brown. I don't think that's necessarily true. I do believe that, you know what? Maybe Whitney was bisexual because she found comfort in a woman, and the most person that made her feel the safest was her relationship with Robin. Robin gave her a sense of security. This is why Whitney gravitated towards her. That's what I got from the last thing. As far as everything else goes, Sissy is a woman of the cloth. She is, Miss Church Lady, this, that, and the third. They try to act, it's all about image and pomp and circumstance and all that shit. Which is why I can understand why Whitney got turned out on drugs, which she was introduced to from her brother Gary. Gary is the one who introduced Whitney to cocaine. Long before Whitney Houston became the big superstar that she was into the drugs. Her brother introduced her to that shit because they shared a common situation, which was sexual abuse. A lot of times when people get into what they go into, it stems from a trauma that happened when they were younger and in their childhood. And a lot of that comes from sexual abuse or whatever the case it was, or it could be physical abuse, emotional abuse. A lot of people look to drugs or take to drugs as a way to solve those problems. So to say that, I questioned being a lesbian or if I was into women because I was sexually abused, to me is problematic. And that's the go-to that a lot of these church motherfuckers like to go to. Whitney questioned being a lesbian because she was sexually abused for 2 years of her childhood. There's plenty of people who have been sexually abused as children, and they never once thought about eating some pussy. I know this because I have relatives, a close relative of mine, who actually confided in me and told me that she was abused by her mother's boyfriend. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but because I've got to respect the name to protect the innocent. But he's dead now. I'll say this much. But she told me that she's like, her mother didn't believe her to say that because women sometimes put their man before their child or all this other shit. It's a whole nother story. But the case of the matter was she had never thought about eating no pussy. She had never thought about being no lesbian. She had never thought about that. So when people try to imply that, to me it's problematic and it sends the wrong message. There's plenty of guys who've been sexually abused by men and don't question their sexuality. There may be a few that do that. I'm not going to discredit the people that do that, but I don't believe that from Whitney. I believe they're all trying to discredit the whole thing about her sexual orientation because you don't want her to have that over her head. But that story's been out for about as long as the rumor about Janet Jackson with the illegitimate child that she had long before she had Issa. Okay, so let's move on because we got to hurry up. I got like 12 minutes before the end of the show, so I want to get as many of these topics in as humanly possible. So Busta Rhymes is being sued for allegedly lying about an arrest warrant. So according to Page 6, in a state civil court lawsuit filed on Friday, which was clearly yesterday, promotions company 800 Entertainment says it booked the rapper, whose real name is Trevor Smith, to perform at the Ukrainian Cultural Center in Somerset, New Jersey on April 21st. The company says it agreed to pay the Touch It artist $17,000 to perform just 2 to 3 verses from 3 of his songs. But 2 weeks before the scheduled appearance, Busta claimed that he couldn't make the event because he had to be in court that day to answer a child support warrant, according to lawsuit, which is seeking $2.1 million in damages. The promotions company said it suspected the rapper was lying about the warrant because he had been scheduled to perform for it on a Saturday and no federal courts are open on weekends. It confirmed its suspicions when company officials saw a flyer the rapper promoted on Instagram touting a performance he was scheduled to do the same night at the International Boutique nightclub in Scottsdale, Arizona, according to the lawsuit, which attached a copy of the Instagram post. The company says Busta repaid them its $17,000 performance fee, but claims that he owes them $100,000 for breach of contract, $500,000 for lost revenue, $500,000 more for $500,000 more for emotional distress, and $1 million for punitive damages of willful breach. Child, now y'all reaching. First of all, I would be like, okay, I would go after him for breach of contract. Because when it comes down to it, they do have a clause that if you do not show up for an event, there is a breach of contract fee that you have to pay. There's a lot of them that do that. So I could totally see them going in and doing that. Lost revenue, it could have been, from getting the people to show up and the artist wasn't there and it kind of looked bad on them. So I get that. Emotional distress, girl, bye. First of all, you'll be all right. You'll get another artist to show up, and it'll be good. And the punitive damages for willful breach, I think that's reaching. So they'll probably get back. They'll probably be able to go to court and get busted to pay for breach of contract and breach of contract and for lost revenue. I don't see for the emotional distress, and I don't see for the punitive damages. I don't see it for that. Let's talk about Sex and the City. So I know there's probably some Sex and the City fans. I don't know if you are, but it was a show I watched way back in the day and still love every now and again, and I'm on occasion or whatever. So SJP is talking about Sex and the City and basically saying that the show didn't do enough to highlight issues affecting LGBT people during its 6 seasons on HBO. Speaking with the Wall Street Journal's Future of Everything Festival, the 53-year-old actress... Jesus, she's 53. She's 53. She looks like she's 63. Did y'all see how leathery she looked at the Met Gala? Girl, like, you need to use some of the MDNA skin cream. You need to call Madonna and find out. Look, she got a new song coming out called what is it called? Beautiful Game. She got a new song coming out. She could call Madonna since you love her and ask her what does she use for her skin. That MDNA skin cream you need to use, because girl, that you were looking real like that skin looked like it could have used a little nourishment. Just saying. But anyway, love you, SJP. Anyway, speaking, basically she said it would be a different show. While Stanford and Anthony made frequent appearances, they were usually relegated to the gay best friend role, mainly there to further the core quartet storylines. Carrie, a sex columnist, once referred to She once referred to bisexuality as a layover on the way to Gay Town. Here's the thing. Sex and the City was what it was in its time. I always say, when you know better, you do better. So, if Sex and the City 3 were to come around, and it would have ever happened without Samantha, but I don't see it happening, then I think you could probably push the gay narrative forward and make it more an inclusive show. I do feel that we have come so far in regards of how gays are represented. We still have a long way to go, trust and believe. Like one of the things I was feeling like bothers me right now is that we could mention that a character is gay. We could mention that a character is pansexual. We could mention that a character is non-binary, but we can't show them in the light of them being... I'm not saying that you need to show Deadpool eating some dude's ass in the new movie. I'm not saying that you need to show that in order to show that a person is pansexual. But when you have Shatterstar, who's in this movie, and he's bisexual, but he's got a barely there role. When you have... You're talking about Donald Glover's character of Lando in the new Solo movie is pansexual, but we're not going to see him engaging in a way that he gets to be an out and proud man. Okay, if he happens to go somewhere and he sees a dude and they make out or something. It's always people say that let's push the gay agenda. And it's not like pushing the gay agenda. It's showing that, we are who we are. We just happen to be this. And I do hear like was it Megasonic Teenage Warhead has a girlfriend in the new movie. I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet, so I can't comment on how their representation is. But it's different. Girls get to be into girls on camera, and it's okay because, like we were saying earlier in the show when I was talking about the Rita Ora song, you're pushing a heterosexual male narrative of what bisexuality or homosexuality is. So if we see two girls making out that look like lipstick lesbians, that's a turn on for men because that is perpetuated as the male fantasy. Now, if there was two girls that look like Ellen DeGeneres, then y'all have a problem. Because nobody wants to look at two bull daggers scissoring. Nobody wants to look at that. But y'all do want to look at a bunch of, big-bootied, big-breasted girls like an Erica Mena making out with somebody that looks like a Kim Kardashian. Like, that's a turn-on. So there's always this issue that I have with that. And we still have a long way to go in regards of shows and movies. And I feel like, we as a people, and I'm telling you, I'm trying to work on some stuff too, creating a show that highlights gay people in a different light. We need more programming that highlights LGBT stories and issues. And I feel like we still have a long way to go in regards to that. And I'll keep you guys posted on it. So, Sarah, don't beat yourself. SJP, don't beat yourself up over it. You still have just don't beat yourself up over what Sex and the City's place in the world is. Look, y'all did an episode where y'all went to the original XL bar, which I could go back and watch the episode, and that shit is still there. So we'll see how that all works out. As far as like we move forward. You said they just said it on the screen, but oh yeah, exactly. That's why and that's the part I'm getting to. This one from Brandon. He actually saw the movie before me. I'm still upset, but we're gonna go see it on Monday, so I'm not that upset. But anyway, it's like I'm saying, it's like it's the LGBT-ness of characters are implied, but we don't show it. It would be nice if we could get a superhero that's on the big screen, like we get to see heterosexual people all the time making out and showing love and affection for their fellow man. But when gay people do it or anything like that, it's a problem. Look, there's supposed to be a lesbian Ayo in freaking Black Panther. They completely cut out the gay scene in Black Panther. Okoye's supposed to be into a woman, but they imply she was into what was it? Not M'Baku, the dude from Get Out. I forget his name in the movie. But they were trying to imply that they were in a relationship. But we all know the Dora Milaje were a bunch of lesbians. So it's called... Look, there's another thing that came out with like het washing. Where, what's his name? What the hell's his name? Freddie Mercury. There's the new movie coming out with that. Where they were saying that... based off the trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody, which mind you was directed by a gay man, Bryan Singer, but was taken over by another director, who I believe directed Eddie the Eagle. But he's an actor. He directed Eddie the Eagle, a bunch of other shit. But he's also, from what I hear, oh, you saw. I'm sorry because you saw it before me. But anyway, so basically, a lot of people are upset about the Freddie Mercury movie because they're accusing him of het washing the famous frontman, basically saying that many wondered why Mercury's famous sexual attraction to men didn't feature in the promo. And I'm like, it's a promo, it's a trailer. Can we wait till the movie comes out first before we start bitching and moaning? And then I heard also the band members wanted to take place before Rite Aid, and they wanted more scenes with them in it, and this and that. And it's like, you can get more screen time. There's nobody saying that you don't need to get more screen time. But allow Freddie Mercury, the lead singer, first of all, the only one that everybody really remembers. I mean, okay, and Brian Mays. But other than that, when it comes to Freddie Mercury, people want to see, like, he's one of the greatest rock and roll lead singers of a generation. I'm not going to say of all time. I hate when people say of all time because that's basically trying to say that he's better than every other singer that ever lived. People need to really check the vocabulary when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm going to wait till the movie comes out to draw my conclusion. Also, I saw an article that just popped up, and I want to get to these really quick because there was so many other stories I got to get to, but I literally have 3 minutes left on this damn show, and I'm upset because I have so many good stories, but let me shut the fuck up and get to the topics I want to get to. So, the last two topics I want to get to is, Janet Jackson. I'm going to get to that real quick. Janet Jackson is performing tomorrow at the Billboard Awards. She's going to get the Icon Award. Definitely looking forward to that. But here's what she said about how the LGBT community has influenced her work. She said, talking about her song, Together Again, it's a loving, all-embracing community that has always inspired me. I don't often listen to my own work, but when I go back to 1997's Velvet Rope, I put on Together Again and remember the friends I lost to AIDS. It was important to me to honor them, not mournfully, but joyously in a celebratory song. Their spirit did so much to bolster mine. Sometimes when people talk about Velvet Rope, they call it my edgiest or sexiest record. Yet the heart of the record is not about sex at all. It's about how, in defiance of death, we will all be together again. It's an anthem of undying love. And I have to say shout out to her because Janet Jackson has always been someone... Dexter Fletcher? Who the fuck is that? Oh, wait, is that in the... Dexter Fletcher's in Queen? I was like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, at a moment. I'm like, why not all of a sudden I started thinking of Dexter from freaking the TV show, who I heard wanted to play a superhero. I think he wanted to play Wolverine. I was like, no, I don't see it. Damn, I want to talk about the massive syphilis outbreak that broke out in Palm Springs, but who didn't see that coming? Oh, there I talked about it. Who didn't see there was going to be a massive outbreak? The white party just happened. There was a story that came out about David Muir that people are suspecting if he's gay or not. And my thing is like, I've heard these rumors. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, ABC has so many homosexuals that works on that network. Like, we got Sam Champion. We have, what is it? Gio Benitez, fine as hell. I'm so upset he's married. We got Robin Roberts, who's a big old bull dagger. We got, like, look, all the gays are running ABC. Trust and believe. But if David Muir is gay, that's on him. He is a good-looking man, and if he's gay, he's gay. And I also want to shout out really quick, Raphael Alencar, the porn star, who came out and basically said that he had sex with Patrick Swayze, and said basically he's retiring. He basically, oh yeah, that was his name, Dexter Fletcher. I didn't know what his name was, but you had me confused for a second. Dexter Fletcher is the director of Eddie the Eagle. But anyway, he basically said that he can't come out and speak up on people who are out and alive, but people who are dead can't sue him. So he basically said he slept with Patrick Swayze, who's been dead for 10 years, mind you. He also said that he slept with Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein. Those two, last I checked, were still alive. So I don't know how you going around saying that. But if that's what you want to say, do you? But I would have been like, tell us about Tom Cruise and all these other people that's alleged. Or Henry Cavill, who looks mighty great, I might add, in the new movie with Tom Cruise, the new Mission Impossible movie. Can't wait to see that. But I just say overall to say, you know, it is what it is, and it is what it ain't. But I want to thank you all for listening. Tune in next week, same time, same place, alldigitalradio.com from 2 to 4. I love you all for listening. Ciao, lovers. Okay, while they go to break, I want to finish up on this. There was one more topic that I want to get to about a pair of $6,400 pair of headphones. So, there's a pair of $6,400 headphones. Oh, we off? Wait, hold on. Let me find out if we off yet. Oh, you off? Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm still on Facebook, so I'm going to still go on with the show. But hold on. So there's a pair of, because I'm going to upload this on YouTube. That's why I'm continuing with the show anyway. And I don't even know how many people's watching, quite frankly. I just see 3, but I'm like, child, it's probably more. But anyway, I don't know how to read this shit on this damn thing. I just see people responding. Anyway, there's I don't know if you ever heard of him, but I'm a fan of his. He's a Venezuelan DJ, music producer, and BDSM enthusiast. He goes by the name of Arca. He is like I say, he's a DJ. He produced stuff for FKA Twigs. He produced Bjork's last 2 albums. He basically is joined forces with a high-end retailer, Sense, that is spelled SSENSE, and leather company Fleet Ilya to create a $6,400 pair of BDSM headphones. So yeah, you're going to pay $6,450 for a pair of BDSM headphones. They look rather interesting, but I would not be caught dead walking down the street with these damn things. First of all, what it looks like, and I'm describe it to you. It literally looks like a leather mask that you put over your head. It looks like a head mask, like literally like something that the knights wore back in the day. Before you went out and you started like jumping on you got on your horse and you went to go to war and shit. So it looks like a knight's helmet that you put over your head, and on the sides of the ears is where the headphones go. But it's not wireless. You plug it into something, like maybe if you still carry an iPod or whatever, or your phone, you plug it in and you listen to it that way. It also said that you could remove the headphone piece and you can just wear it as a straight up headdress. And I believe that the headpiece without the headphones will cost you $5,275. To me, I feel like that's way too much money to be spending on a pair of headphones. And but what it is they're being sold exclusively as an art project. An art object, and are provided as is without any guarantees or warranty. So you expect me to spend $6,400 on something without a guarantee for a warranty in case they come to me in the mail all fucked up and I can't get my money back? That's a waste of goddamn time. I could probably design the same goddamn thing and charge you literally $200 and make a whole lot of money off of it with some real leather or whatever. So I'm sure somebody's going to come along and see that same aesthetic and that same look, and you can put it on your head and call it a day. And speaking of which, I'm going to call it a day as well. So thank you all who've been chiming in and watching and listening and saying your little comments and all this other stuff. Tune in next week, same time, same place, as I said, on alldigitalradio.com and YouTube Live and all that other stuff. And people, wrap it up, since if you're in LA, if you happen to be in Palm Springs, like I said, there's a syphilis outbreak. Wrap it up. Or if you're going to use your PrEP, make sure you get your shots before you go out there. Oh yeah, because I have like two videos. There was a whole lot that I basically talked about. But yes, thank you about catching it, because I know a lot of people don't chime in on the live feed. They watch it later on and then they'll jump in with their comments. I actually love when y'all do that as well. So, and spread the word, share, do whatever you need to do, bring more people along, and have them check out alldigitalradio.com.